Hello everyone, welcome to our IE 413 final project. I am Juan Carlos Argenial and my teammates are Rasika Deshmukh, Simon Hong, and Rikin Mehta, and we're Team Blackout. So the problem description. The primary objective of this project is to optimize Joe's bartending system so that they can serve a greater number of clients and also increase their sales. We're going to do this by examining the ideal number of bartenders and POS machines at the peak times and regular times in order to reduce customer waiting time. Currently, Joe's has 3 bars open on their peak nights, which are Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and in total have 8 bartenders and 6 POS machines. To clarify, POS machines are the machines that the bars use for processing credit card or cash payments. You can see a picture of one to the right below. In the main bar, there are 4 bartenders and 3 POS machines. In the upstairs bars, there are 2 bartenders and 1 POS machine. In the dance floor bar, there are 2 bartenders and 2 POS machines. We're going to be modeling the 2 bartenders and 2 POS machines from the dance floor bar for reasons that I'm going to describe under our assumptions. We have customers entering the system once they enter the bar, and they exit the system once they leave the bar. Now to our assumptions. First, we assume that all of the customers at the bar buying drinks are 21 years or older. We're making this assumption because Joe's, as well as the other bars in Champaign, let people into the bar as long as they're 19 years or older. Those who are under 21 years old are given a different wristband or no wristband so that bartenders can easily tell who's underage or not. Still, it happens that students who are under 21 will have a friend who is legal get drinks for them. We couldn't get real data or make assumptions for how often this happens, given that those who do it are actively trying not to get caught. Another assumption is that it takes 1 to 2 minutes to get a beer and 2 to 3 minutes to get a drink. The beer takes less time given that it's already served in the bottle and only needs to be opened, while for a drink, the bartender has to get a cup, ice, liquor, and a chaser such as Coca-Cola, Sprite, or Red Bull. These assumptions come from real-time observations during our field research. Next assumption is that the groups follow distribution in which 30% of the groups in the bar are groups of 2, 50% are groups of 4, and 20% are groups of 6. Also, we're assuming that only the dance floor bar is operating. Originally, we tried to model all 3 bars, but the educational license of Sigma only provides 10 or so states and variables. Hence, we could only simulate the dance floor bar. The bar has 2 bartenders and 2 POS machines, which is ideal because whenever a bartender takes the order, she or he doesn't have to wait until a POS machine is idle in order to charge for the drink. The final assumption is that half of the drinks cost $3 and the other half are premium drinks which cost $5. Some of the loss of our system are that 1 full work shift per day, workers work an entire work shift, there's only 1 bar, which is a dance floor bar, and that the whole system has a capacity for 500 customers. Some of our policies are that the waiting queue is infinite, customers cannot exit the bar without first paying for their drinks, and the bar is open for 5 hours, which is from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Now we will start describing our event model. This is our event graph model, and before we explain our model, let me first explain our entities and variables. In our model, we have 2 entities, bartenders and customers. First, we have 2 bartenders for the bar. As previously mentioned, Joe's have total 3 bars and each have 4, 2, and 2 bartenders. We try to put all 3 bars into our model, but due to the license limitation, we simplified it and then ended up modeling just one of the bars, the inner one with the stage. The bar that we are modeling has 2 bartenders and 2 push machines, so ratio of the bartender and push machine is 1. The state of bartenders is either easy or idle. The serving time is either 4 or 6 based on the random variable. Another entity is the customers. Each unit customer represents the customer group. The system can take 500 units of the customer groups. The interarrival time is uniformly distributed between 3 to 15, and the customer can go in either line bar, disco, or exit. So for our variables, C represent the system capacity, which is equal to 500 initially, and then X, Y, and Z are represent the uniform random variables, which will determine the customer's behavior. L represent the number of people in front of the bar, and then bar represent the number of bartenders available. Floor represent the people of number on the floor, then R represent the total revenue at the point. Lastly, SC represent the number of customer exit the system, which is the service completion. Now we'll go over our event driven model. First, we initialize all the variables. When x equals to an uniform random variable, C is 500, bar is 2, all the other variables are equal to 0. We enter arrival time between 3 and 15 minutes. Customer enters the system, then they can go either line or disco, with depending on X. If they go to line first, they have to wait until the bartenders are available. Once bartenders are available, they go to the bar, and then bar is bar plus 1. Then the revenue will be set based on Y and Z. Y will determine the price of the drink they get, and then it can be either 3 or 5. Then Z will determine the quantity of the drinks they will get, then the quantity is either 2 with probability of 0.3, 4 with probability of 0.5, and 6 with probability of 0.2. After they order, with inter order time of 4 or 6, they will get the drink and then go back to disco. Every 5 minutes, from disco to lines, schedule another customer arrival. Then every 20 minutes, from disco to exit, the customer leaves the system. And then SC will be increment by 1.
Now we will discuss results. Running our final model for 3,000 time units in Sigma, we found that the revenue generated was about $2,052, which we found corresponds to the actual revenue figures provided by Owen, a manager of Joe's. After running the model with 3 bartenders and 3 POS machines, we found that the revenue is about $3,152, which is higher than the revenue calculated when we only had 2 bartenders. This result makes sense because adding another bartender and POS machine will allow the bartenders to make more drinks over the course of the night, earning more revenue for the bar. Now for conclusions. The conclusions that we can draw from this result is that the bar should invest in buying another POS machine for the inside bar and hire another bartender so that they can generate more revenue over time. The POS machine costs about $1,200, and adding another bartender increases revenue by more than $1,000 in one night. Therefore, the investment of another POS machine will be paid off. The cost of hiring another bartender is only about $25 a night, since they make $4.95 an hour and the shifts are usually 5 hours long. Taking into account the increase in the revenue, adding both a bartender and a POS machine will generate more revenue for the bar and will pay off the investment in the long term. Now moving on to sources of error. One of the sources of errors that we could have had is our variable C, which we use to represent the system capacity. In our model, we use the number 500, which is accurate when describing the system as 3 bars, but our model only used 1 bar, which means that the numbers may be a little bit off. Another error that we might have had is that the ratio of bartenders and POS machines. In our simulation, we had the ratio of 1 to 1. However, in real life, this may not always be the case. And as we mentioned before, we only simulated 1 out of the 3 bars in Joe's, which means that the revenue and the customer circulation may not be 100% accurate. Another issue that we might have had is that inter-arrival and departure time is not completely randomized. We had 1 departure every 20 time units, which may not always be the case when looking at real life. And when the customers are ordering a drink, we assume that each customer comes in a group, and we don't know exactly how many people are in a group, so we randomize that, which again may not be the case in real life. And lastly, we didn't use the first in, first out system when they get into a line for a bar and to buy a drink. We basically said that a random customer in the line is served. So lastly, we would like to say that despite our sources of errors, we think that our conclusions are accurate since we have verified and validated the model, and Joe should take them into account. We would also like to acknowledge Owen Bloomfield for giving us the data so that we could properly analyze our machine, and we would like to thank the TAs and the professor for all their help. Thank you.